It's 5:30. I'll call the meeting to order. Jessica can record the attendance. Article 2 is the approval of the agenda. I'll take a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Approval of the agenda is passed. Article 3, review of the 2025 projects and future plans. And Ryan's going to go through all of that with us.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so we'll just do a quick review. This is our second informational meeting of the year. As you know, we're required to do 2 each year. So this one will be pretty similar to the one you heard in July. We'll fill some of the gaps of what's happened since then, and then do a kind of a review of 2025 and then some of the future projects we're looking at into 2026. So first slide, just kind of a quick overview of the DDA board members. And then just looking at some background. What is a DDA? Authorized by the state of Michigan with the purpose of halting property value deterioration, eliminating the causes for deterioration, and then also promoting economic growth. The Cascade DDA was established in 1993. It's expanded a couple times, once in 2003 for the interchange area, and then another time in 2004 for the Centennial Business Park. And then to the left of that side, you can see the DDA base and taxable value. That information is also available in the 2024 annual report as well. And then just a quick overview of the DDA boundaries. As I mentioned, it's expanded a couple times in 2004, 2005. Other than that, it's stayed pretty consistent throughout. And then looking at new and renovated, I believe it was mentioned at the last informational meeting that Jade and the building department were working on getting more information as permits come in so that we could better provide a picture of the investment that's being made. So the information you'll see on the next few slides comes from a list generated by the building department that assigns a dollar valuation to the work being done with each permit. So as you can see on the slide, we had 18 permits that were relating to interior renovations within the district. So this included any improvements in the interior and then any new tenant build outs that took place. So you'll notice we had 3 permits that we identified that were new tenant renovations. This included Five Below, which went in between Staples and Aldi. It also included Hot Works, which is in the D&W complex. And then one of the newer ones is Smoothie King, which is being renovated right now and will go in next to Jimmy John's over by Walmart. And I know one that's not on here that we recently got was for Jersey Mike's, which is going to be going where Subway formerly was, right next to Thornapple Brewing. So that's another new one coming to the district as well.
Crunch Fitness, was that, did that
I
happen too
believe
long ago?
that one was 2024, so that's probably why it's not on that one. It wasn't on the list we had for 2025, so I believe that was 2024. And I know Speed Collection is another one that was just approved by the Planning Commission, so they'll be pulling a permit soon as well, and they'll be going into that same complex with Jersey Mike's as well.
And what's it called?
Speed Collection. They do exotic car, it's like a plastic film, protective filming that they do around the cars. So it's just very minor, like work that they do on more higher end vehicles. So they'll be coming this next year as well in that same complex.
Is Five Below going where the party store was?
Yes, yep, and they're, I believe, already open, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, overall, we're looking at about a $4 million investment from these businesses in terms of interior renovations. And that's within the DDA district specifically. Then also just looking at some other improvements that we saw through building permits. New signs, we had 3 businesses that added some new signage. We had 4 that did roof repairs, and then we also identified 4 that were listing as others, so it could include facade improvements, other repairs that don't really fall into the other categories. And so combined, these improvements totaled 1.1 million in improvements. So then just kind of a quick overview of that. We saw 30 building permits issued in the DDA district in 2025. This came to a total of just over 5 million of work that was completed in the district. You can see to the right, there's kind of a pie chart breakdown. If you look at it, the properties within the DDA district that did commercial additions, alterations, repairs, of the permits that were pulled and the total dollar amount, the DDA made up 28% of that. So obviously, without numbers from 2024, it's kind of hard to say how happy we should be with those numbers. But when we meet in 2026 and do an informational meeting around this time next year, we can hopefully use this as kind of a benchmark and see what we're seeing in terms of changes in investment by businesses in the DDA. So looking at the Village Reimagined, one of the projects that DDA has been most integral in. This was really sparked by the township's master plan and the purchase of the Tuffy site, and then most recently the Ververs property as well. And also tied in with the vision for Friendship Park. And then, kind of moving on to Tassel Park. This fall, the township really began working with Troyer Group on preliminary plans for the improvements at Tassel, which really are looking to incorporate the newly acquired Tuffy site, Ververs, and ways to add new amenities into the park, better engaging the river, providing better access across Cascade Road, and then just really creating a better connection with the village and businesses surrounding it. So the Troyer Group presented at the Township Board and the DDA Board recently. We also had the open house on December 8th that many of you were at, where we got some really good public feedback. Troyer Group's kind of compiled that feedback and given it to the township, so that will be reviewed. And then the plans are that there will be another open house early next year, but no dates yet been finalized. So
yeah, I thought the open house went really well. A lot of good feedback.
yeah, it seemed like we had pretty good turnout. There's some pretty good feedback all around. So that'll be something to look forward to early next year as we try to look towards another open house and continue to kind of get that public feedback. New village developments. Some we've already touched on, the purchase of the Tuffy site and incorporating that into that Tassel Park plan. The DDA also recently had purchased Stonehouse, which we've seen more township events starting to take place there. We'll continue to kind of work on determining how this can be best integrated into the village plan. And also the Kuiper and Kramer building, one of the first businesses in the village to be approved by the Village Design Review Committee. And then I'll also mention Member Rishi's store, which was recently approved by the Planning Commission, which voluntarily followed the form-based code of the new zoning ordinance as well. So that'll be one new development to look forward to next year as well.
Kuiper and Kramer on social media just did a tour of their place. It's beautiful inside.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I know it looks beautiful from the outside at least too.
I can show. Might be personal, but I can show. I don't know.
Looking at other DDA projects, two recent ones include Friendship Park and then the park area next to the museum. Friendship Park was a $1.75 million project, funded majority by the DDA, with the collaboration of the MEDC and then Friends of Library and other private donations. This has resulted in a pretty great outdoor gathering space within the district. It's kind of provided a space for concerts and other township sponsored events as well. And then the new plantings and refresh of the park space have also contributed to the aesthetic of the area as well. Looking at some other village projects, the Cascade Road Bridge, which was completed, adding barriers, decorative fencing, ornamental street lighting, and then also widened some of the sidewalks. And then the sidewalk repairs that have been just about completed throughout the 28th Street corridor as well. And then Cascade Village Holiday Lighting, working with West Michigan Holiday Lighting this year, and it has expanded to the pedestrian bridge, which so far we've received only positive feedback on. So facade grants, this was approved in 2024, has since been suspended, kind of pending the new zoning ordinance updates. So this will be something that we'll continue to kind of work on updating the scorecard for, so it better complements the new form-based code and regulations within the zoning ordinance, and kind of look to roll that back out after the zoning ordinance is adopted. I know I've spoke to at least a couple business owners who are looking at doing new siding and facade work in the summer, and they're definitely excited for it. So that'll be something to look forward to. Hotel ordinance, adopted in 2024. This past year has really just been the implementation of the ordinance. We did end up issuing all 16 licenses for the hotels in the township this past year. This October, we started doing inspections for next year's licensing. And so those are pretty well underway. We're really hoping we should be able to get most of those issued by the end of the year or early next year. But we've definitely seen a number of site improvements, some additional landscaping. A number of the hotels have added significant cameras, security camera coverage. And we've seen a lot of minor property maintenance improvements too, and fire code issues that have been resolved as a result of those inspections too. So moving on to events and promotions. Here are three of the main events that we've done in 2024 and then again here in 2025. Metro Cruise took place this August, and then Heritage Festival in September. This event's kind of continued to expand this year with the addition of dog dock diving. Wow, that's a fun one to say. Which was definitely, it seemed to be a pretty big hit among the people that were there. We had bounce houses and a band again as well. I know I got kind of cut short because of the storm, but it seemed like we had a pretty good turnout until then. So, and then the Christmas tree lighting, that one's been kind of modified this year from the past. They combined the Meeting Santa at Stonehouse event with the tree lighting. It seemed like we had a pretty good turnout at that ceremony, and then we did a little parade up to the Stonehouse where there was hot cocoa and kids were able to get Polaroids taken of them with Santa. And so that seemed to be a pretty big hit too. And that's all I got for you guys, unless you have any questions.
Looks great.
I just want to expand on a couple of things. One is the hotel ordinance. We are going to go back to the board with some modifications to that ordinance. There are some things that came to light over the course of the last year where we need to modify some things. I think we all knew it was a pretty big taking that ordinance on, that we would have a couple tweaks, but they're actually very minor. We're pretty pleased with the response we got. We do have a couple of holdouts from some hotel owners, and although they all got licensed in 2025, their 2026 renewal, we're being a little bit more strict on and working with our attorney, because I think we will be assessing a couple of fines. And if you recall, those fines were pretty hefty. So more to come on that. We're trying to get all of our ducks in a row. And I think Omar said when he was here, those numbers have significantly decreased. And maybe not so much the numbers, but the types of activities have become we're not seeing the activity that was that we didn't like. So that's been reduced a lot. And then I think there was one other thing I wanted to say, but maybe that's it.
That ordinance has made a big difference. There's always going to be some issues that will crop up, but I think the magnitude of the issues are much more diminished. Like the most, I think, challenging ones that create a safety concern. And you can definitely tell the police have continued an elevated presence in the area. Therefore, like some of the numbers directionally, they're catching a lot of minor incidents, and I think they're proactively catching them before they become bigger incidents as well. There's a lot of really good things going on with that partnership with Omar.
It's really good, because I think as a general resident, you wouldn't know that it was so dangerous until I came here.
It's not a top concern of my team, their safety, which is first time in 9 years.
It probably helps you with retention too of employees.
It does. Thankfully, people have kept walking with us, and we've made some, we made a bunch of, a number of changes to ensure safety, but it's not where they're coming to me with concerns where we can't keep up with it.
Boy, you look through this list and you don't realize how much stuff we've really done, a ton of progress. So
thankfully we work together as a team, and I don't know, this is my first experience as a resident on the DDA, but it seems like we're pretty cohesive. I don't know if it's always been that way, but I'm excited as a resident going forward when things are happening. And thank you guys.
Yeah, you guys have, everybody, all the staff has done all of this.
We try.
I know you
But it helps.
a lot of different
But it really helps to work with a good board too that likes to discuss and look at the best case scenario for the district. And although we may not reap the rewards immediately, it's still the promotion of the district that we do. And I think that that's really important that the board is cohesive on thinking that way. Because that's what's hard is it's hard to quantify all of the efforts that we do and assign like say, oh, we made an impact here, because sometimes you just don't know. And I think as the DDA becomes more and more with Ryan becoming more well-rounded and we get out there, we start talking to business owners, we're going to see even more input from the community. And it's just going to get even better. So.
No, good.
Positive.
Is there anybody on? Nope. Okay, we can, we have no visitors tonight, so.
Oh, I have one
Oh.
thing.
What?
So we made a mistake. So we scheduled our January meeting as we should have, meaning us. And then unfortunately, we have another PFAS issue in the township that Eagle is coming in and doing a meeting. And we scheduled it for the same time as DDA in January, and those invitations are already gone out to all of the residents. So what I'm asking is, would it be possible for us to meet on the same day, but just to move the meeting earlier to like 4 o'clock?
What day is it, on the
The
20th?
20th, yes.
Should be able to.
I can.
Yeah.
But-
works.
4 p.m.
I can definitely.
I mean, it might be hard for Rishi.
Well, it's hard for him at 5:30.
Okay, that's true.
But I can definitely reach out to him and make sure that he's okay.
He
with
said
that.
he couldn't. This is one of his busiest weeks.
Oh, I can only imagine.
So
Yeah,
he said he just couldn't pull it off.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
4 o'clock on the,
Yeah, we'll send out a calendar invite and change the meeting officially. So I appreciate the willingness to work with us on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that we realized that last week. We're like, oh, whoops. So
There's nothing else, and I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Make that motion.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Any opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thanks, everybody.